Good morning, Wolfpack. Today is Tuesday, December 20th, 2022, and we are glad that you are here. I'm Adelie with your announcements. Today's special rotation is G. School will dismiss for our winter holidays on December 21st at 11:15 a.m. Winter holidays are December 22nd through January 4th, 2023. Thursday, January 5th will be a teacher workday. Students will return to school on Friday, January 6, 2023. Students, please remember our Howell expectations. H is for honest, O is for organized, W is for well-mannered, and L is for listener. Please stay quiet in the hallways so you do not disturb other classes. Have a wonderful day. Now for our weather.
Good morning. I'm Tarai with your weather for today. It will be rain with a high of 50 degrees and a low of 40 degrees. Enjoy your day. Now for our lunch menu.
Good morning. I'm Adelie with your lunch menu for today. Today, the cafeteria will be serving homemade grilled cheese sandwich, tomato bisque soup, potato wedges, mandarin oranges, fresh assorted fruit, and your choice of milk. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the national anthem. Have a great day.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello friends, my name is Mrs. Repholtz and I would like to tell you a story today. This story is about a young man who learns a whole lot. Let's dive in. This story is called How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be that his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm-lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings snarled heap He snarled with a sneer, "Tomorrow is Christmas is practically here." Then he growled with his grinchy fingers nervously drumming, "I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming." For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated, the noise, 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 noise. Then the Who's young and old would sit down for a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef, which was normally something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. Just sounds like an unhappy guy to me. And then they'd do something he'd like least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand with the Who's, and they'd start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, "I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming. But how?" Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. Oh no, this doesn't seem good. "I know just what to do," the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat, and he chuckled and he clucked, "What a great Grinchy trick, and with this coat and this hat, I look just like St. Nick. All I need is a reindeer." The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop old Grinch? Oh no, the Grinch simply said, "If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead." So he called his dog Max, "Max!" Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Poor Max. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks and a ramshackled sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who lay a snooze in their town. This is not going well. Although windows were dark, white snow filled the air, and the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Not any Santa Claus I would like to come to my house. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flute, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. "These stockings," he grinned, "are the first thing to go." Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles and roller skate drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags, and the Grinch, very nimble, stuffed all the bags up, one by one, up the chimble. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, the Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Oh, this guy is awful. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. "And now," grinned the Grinch, "I will stuff up the tree." I mean, nothing is safe around here. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small coo like the sound of a dove. Coo. He turned round so fast he saw a small Who, Cindy Lou Who, who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and she said, "Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" That's what I'd like to know too, Miss Cindy Lou. But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head. He got her a drink and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, that old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a poor little mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Whose houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Whose mouses. This is horrible. It was 1:15, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. That is a lot of stuff, sir. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. "Pooh-pooh on the Who's," he said grinchly humming. "They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo." "That's a noise," grinned the Grinch, "that I simply must hear." So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. What do you think he heard? But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes, then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. He looks quite shocked, doesn't he? Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came somehow or other. It just came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without packages, boxes, or bags. It came without ribbons. It came without tags. And he puzzled 3 hours till the puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't thought of before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. Good to know. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beef. The end. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas.